Hey, thanks for checking out this podcast. Our hope is that it's an encouragement to you, that it builds your faith, that it helps you be a better leader and a better influencer in and through your life. If this is helpful to you, we'd love you to subscribe and also share it with somebody else to encourage them too. Thanks. Okay, well, here we are, VC Podcast, and it's a little different today. This is a bonus edition, and we don't have Pastor Jeremy here.
I'm not Jeremy, no.
Close, though.
Yeah.
But we have the awesome Dave Boisclair.
Woo.
Super excited to have you, man.
Yeah.
And so welcome to the bonus edition of podcast. You're usually on the other side of the camera.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. I'm usually over there.
Yeah.
This time I'm on this side, so got my 15 minutes.
Pretty awesome. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. I've known you a long time. We've been 13 years in the same church.
Yeah.
Here, but we actually went to the same church in Calgary for a little bit, too, before that. Way back in the day, yeah. How long ago was that? When did you guys live in Calgary?
Oh, yeah, it's a little while ago. I'm not totally sure. Yeah.
I can't remember the exact date. Once we get this old, we don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do today. We're going to get to know Dave. We're going to get to know you.
Yeah.
And hear your heart, hear some of your journey.
Yeah.
So why don't you just start to tell us about yourself?
Yeah. Well, I'm married. I got a couple kids.
Okay.
One of my favorite things is taking my family to the beach. We do beach days, which is awesome in the summer.
Nice.
And then in the winter, not so awesome. So if you have any ideas that are kind of comparable, let me know, because winters are just not as fun for us.
But you're the beach day
I'm
family.
The beach guy,
you guys, you get your kids out, get them out to a lake.
Yeah.
And there's a few of those close to here, right? There's a few spots.
Yeah, there's quite a few, yeah. So we tried different ones, and we have a couple favorites, and
Fun. And how old are your girls?
They are 9 and 4.
Yeah.
So good ages. Yeah.
Super nice kids.
Yeah.
Super cute. And, because we work together, I see your kids lots, right?
Yeah.
And we actually have a deal in our church. We call it staff kids.
Yeah.
And we make a big deal out of our staff kids, right? We really love them and try to make them feel special and try to make serving in the church and with the church a positive experience for them, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like going into the office, and your wife has a drawer for them. It's got stickers all over it, and they go and get treats, and
Pretty cool.
Doesn't matter what I bring or what Kelly brings, but they go to the drawer because
there's something
stuff.
special that they've been thought of.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're blessed. You got a great family.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your journey to this place. How'd you come to know Jesus and end up at Victory?
Yeah. Started coming to this church I think almost 25 years ago now, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I was 10 years old, I think, and basically we started coming because someone invited my dad to church, and so we started coming to church.
Okay.
And bit by bit, we all kind of went all in for the Lord, got baptized, and committed our lives. And
was it like a work calling?
Yeah, it was the guy he worked with. He drives train, so he's driving train with a guy. And
wow.
Yeah. And actually, we changed schools quite often for a few years. My dad just bought a house, sold it. We kind of moved around a little bit, just in town. But we were at a Catholic school, and we didn't know anything about the Bible. But we had Christian ethic homework we had to do.
Okay.
And so we asked the guy, you go to church, what do I do? And he's like, bring your kids on Sunday, and I'll make sure the homework is good. And
wow.
Yeah, he just used it as an opportunity, bring them.
Invite.
Yeah.
And you think about that invitation to church from your dad, who was not going, all that changed the trajectory of his life, but not only his life, now generations.
Yeah,
right?
mine and my kids.
Crazy.
Yeah.
One invitation.
Yeah.
Cool.
Exactly,
okay, so your dad started coming, and then your whole family, everybody got baptized.
Yeah, exactly, and then we just committed to being at church, and we did that, and met my wife here, got to go to the youth group here, basically raised most of my life in the church now,
Yeah, so that's
10 and older.
Cool all by itself, right? You and Kelly met.
Yeah.
Here, I guess, just coming to church, but also at youth group in particular.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah,
which is not for dating per se.
No, exactly.
But, it's not terrible.
Maybe we should scrub this part from this. This is not an excuse for dating in youth group. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's more young adult age, I would say.
Yeah.
But what better place to find
a
future spouse than at church?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we did lots of it. We just committed to serving the church too, and when you're serving, you look around, who else is serving with me, kind of thing. That was something I heard Pastor Larry's son one time told me. He's like, when you're running your race for Jesus, you look beside you, see who else is running in the same direction.
Right.
So don't just look everywhere, but just when you're running, look around, right?
Right,
So,
and those are your potential spouses and even just friends in life friends. Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So that was your sort of teenage life.
Yeah.
And anything else you want to share from that part of the...
So I started going to the church, kind of grew up in here, did youth group, met my wife, and then we eventually got married in the same church.
Yeah.
And then we were even, we were in Calgary for a little while, met you guys.
Right, yeah.
But our initial plan was to move to Asia for a while, so we were sent out as missionaries from this church, and then came back, and then you guys were here, so then we started working here at the church with you guys, so it's been really fun, just like,
Yeah, amazing to think of those young adult years. You guys connected in with, we have Victory Churches in Asia, right?
Yeah.
In Thailand.
Yeah.
And we have a Bible college there, and then a whole bunch of ministries that go on there. And actually, a couple from our church, Chris and Tab Pagan, are there as missionaries. So you guys were all linked in with all of that, especially in your young adult years. And you still are. I mean, you're still connected to all those ministries and so on. And as a church, we support all those mission works. So you guys have been over there, done some stuff over there. And then over the years, ended up on staff here.
Yeah, my thing was always I did feel God calling me to serve in the local church, whatever that meant, right? So I've worked lots of different jobs, but I was always serving in the church, whether it was the youth or whatever, right? And so we had felt God call us to Asia for a while, so we went to Thailand. And while we were there, we were serving in the church there too. Yeah. So wherever we are, we're serving the church. And maybe if I'm lucky, call me to Hawaii because I'll serve the church there too. Or back to Asia.
And you know what, as a pastor, that's one of my big memories.
Yeah.
If I go back 13 years to when I first met you guys on a local church level as your pastor.
Yeah.
And then just as I got to know you over the years, you did have different jobs you were working, but you were always finding as much as you could to serve.
Right.
Like you were always like, where else can I serve? What else can I do?
Yeah.
And you had that servant's heart and that desire to just, tell me where I can be of a benefit to the church, and I'll get at it.
And I think that has to do with like the calling too, because I didn't feel called to a specific job somewhere. Like I didn't feel called to become a teacher and serve in that kind of industry or whatever. Right. I did feel called to serve specifically in the local church, like as much as I could, like. So you could be a teacher and also volunteer at church, but I felt like I wanted to be at the church doing this ministry, that as much as I could. That's what I felt called to, and other people would be called differently, right? So in the meantime, I worked whatever job there was, and as much as I could, I was here doing stuff. And
that's awesome.
Yeah,
actually, even the term vocation, it has a spiritual connotation to it. It's a sense of calling, right? And so, for a lot of people, their calling is in teaching or in construction or wherever else. But you kept feeling this drawing towards, I want to serve more than just, 1 out of 3 weeks on a team. I want to be there all that I can.
Yeah, and everyone has their part to play in the body, right? So I just figured my part was, it felt called to be, here,
So let's talk about that journey a little bit, or I guess why don't we go back? Well, let's talk about calling, and then we'll go back to other life lessons.
Right.
So let's talk about your journey from a perspective of ministry calling and how that's developed and what you've learned along the way there.
Yeah. Lots of things, I suppose, but sometimes my calling looks differently than what I thought it was going to be.
Sure.
And even when you figure it out, it looks differently than you think it's going to go. So,
right.
But like I said, when I first basically became a Christian, I felt like I'm all in, like I'm called to serve the church. And, when I was little, I thought that was going to be a youth pastor because I had a sweet youth pastor when I was younger. So like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be like that guy, and then that changed. And I thought, I'm going to be a missionary. And I did do that a little bit, right? Yeah. And then I end up here back in Moose Jaw, so my calling was always to serve the local church, but how that played out was different than
different on different
changes
seasons.
Seasons and
And I think that's been true in my journey too. I could reflect that back. I had this idea, Lord, I want to serve you, and not just I want to serve you, but I feel called to serve. And I had all kinds of ideas of what that might look like, but all I could ever really see was my next steps.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, okay, well, this is the next thing I can do. Well, this is the next thing I can do. And the path didn't go, ways that I sort of looked 10 years in advance. But it always went the ways I was looking 1 year in advance or 6 months in advance, and you just obey the Lord the next step.
Yep.
And served in, like you, I think I've served in just about every area of the church over the years. So,
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes when you commit to serving the church. You just, wherever it's needed,
Right.
But,
and you've done a lot of different areas in this church.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when we very first started, I think Kelly started working at the church, and I was just around all the time doing other jobs. I think we were almost in every ministry. We were on the worship and the tech and young adult and youth group, and it's almost everything except for seniors ministry,
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, for sure. And then you came on staff.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years ago. Probably.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's
6 or 7. Maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say it might be 7 now.
Yeah. And then I think full time.
Yeah.
5 years, I want to say.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something.
We'd have to go back and
check the records.
dig up the paperwork. But
yeah.
So
but it's been fun though. Yeah.
Yeah, quite a journey. And now, what is your role now?
Yeah, now I mostly take care of the production, the tech side of things. So maintaining things, buying stuff on Amazon.
Yeah, all the tech ministries, right? Which is... it does add up when you think about it. There's sound. There's
we have lights. We got camera guys, and we have what else we have? We have a guy who does the steps of stream, someone who does media in the sanctuary, someone who does media online, a lot of different online sound.
Switcher.
Yeah, the video switcher. And so I had a guy in just earlier. I was giving him a tour, and he's like, "Wow, I didn't realize, so how many people does it take to do all this?" Because we got the front, a house booth, and then the booth in the back, and I was like, I think it's about 9 people, plus there's usually me and OJ running around making sure, so it's almost 11 people on Sunday to run the whole thing nicely. You can get away with less people, but
about 11, and then you got Church Online hosts too, probably.
Yeah, that's right. Church Online hosts, for YouTube and
so
Facebook.
12 or 13 people that are all serving per service.
Per Sunday.
Right.
Yeah.
Most of them would serve both services.
Yeah, I think the host. Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's per week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a big team now, So when I first got on, it was just me, We had a sound guy, and then there was me, and then we expanded and. Yeah. But that's the fun thing.
Yeah, it's great to see. And then, of course, with Church Online, we've got lots of folks who join us from all different places too. So you're working, keeping track of those folks and caring for them and stuff.
Yeah, it's been really fun doing. It's difficult, that part, keeping track of who's around.
Yeah.
And, because they're just a number at first, So,
right, exactly. So who are these people?
Yeah.
And then,
but it's been really fun when you get to connect with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hey, I finally get to meet you. It's
super
so good.
Special, right? Yeah. Those moments where you actually connect with a person who's been joining for a month or 6 months or a year online.
Yeah. Or we have people come in person after they've been online for a long time. But they started coming to a church during COVID online for however many months, and then they show up in the building and they know exactly who you are, and you're just seeing them for the first time.
Exactly.
It's weird, It's pretty fun though.
Yeah, we used to say that the website was the new lobby in a sense, right? It's where people almost 100% of people went to your website before they came to church. Yeah. Now we would say Church Online is the new lobby.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably 80 or 90% of people before they've come to an in-person service, they've checked out an online service.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think it's good.
So important ministry. Cool. So some of your lessons along the way? Yeah,
well, I was going to say with that, with my upbringing, coming to church and having a great youth pastor and getting involved in the church and stuff, some of the things that have been really good for me and really, I think, key is having good mentorship. So, I had a good youth pastor, and I had some older friends who had been in the church longer than me who also helped me along the way. Yep. Being part of a small group also helped. Yep. But, having that as well as just being connected to the church, serving. So.
Right.
Yeah, because I was I was serving on so many different things at the time, you get to know a lot of people, you get to build a sense of community, people get to look out for you, and you kind of build healthy relationships around you, especially when you're coming from a not Christian world into the Christian world,
Yeah.
So having those people around you was really helpful, I found, so.
Yeah, so in some ways you got to show up.
Yeah.
Right? You got to just be there and get to stuff and do stuff and sign up for stuff.
Yeah.
And the more you do that, the more connected you become, and the more you feel. There's this great scripture, and I'm not going to have the reference for it, but it talks about those who are planted in the house of the Lord. They flourish in the courts of our God.
Yeah.
And the more you show up and the more you find places to connect, whether it's a small group or whether it's serving in a ministry or whether it's just being at an event or a Sunday, the more those roots are planted there rather than all the other places.
Yeah, exactly.
Where of course you're not going to flourish like you do connected to God's church.
Yeah, and I found it helped because even though like having a good mentor or having a good serving group was good, but it felt more church based, not like person based. You know, like I love my mentor who's a youth pastor, but he's serving the church, and that's what he's encouraging me to do as well, kind of thing.
Right.
So I was kind of looking to him through the eyes of like, this is the church and this is what we do, kind of thing, versus like, this guy's awesome, I need to follow him, kind of.
Right.
If that makes sense. But yeah, and when I was younger, there was a lot of people that did fall away, kind of, or like not really stick with the faith so much, you know. And so I always felt like, oh, if you know, I could too, and I kind of thought about like leaving the church or you know, kind of pulling back more. So, but for whatever reason, I just always felt like, no, this is what God's called me to do, and I got to stay connected, right? And so as people come and go, it was based on my relationship with being connected to the local church. Being God's way of reaching people and discipling people versus this person or that group of friends or something like that. So.
Yeah. I think that's huge. I think for a lot of people, the longer you're in church, the more aware you become of how many people come and go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And this sense of, I want to stick this out.
Exactly,
I want to persevere for the long haul here.
And you have to have a little bit of grit to that too. You know,
right, because you have opportunities
you're going to get offended and people are going to do things that you just hate. And
There's moments where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you've got to have that spirit of perseverance that says, I'm going to stick it out.
And actually, I put this in my notes, but one of my Bible verse of my life basically is like the last part of Joshua 24:15. I always forget where it is. I know it's Joshua, but 24:15, where it says, "As for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord." Right. And so I always thought, like, as people come and go, like, as for me and my house, we're serving the Lord. You know, it doesn't like you're committed. Like that's what I'm doing, right? So
that's cool. And I mean, that's actually what's happening in that text. Joshua's confronting the people. Yeah. And he's saying, you know, you guys may not be all in. Yeah. Choose for yourselves this day. Yeah, exactly. Right? He says who you will serve. Yeah. But as for me, like I know what I'm doing, and so that's cool. That's a great life verse, and I've watched you live that out. And I was going to say too, on the mentoring side, I've seen you as a hungry learner over the years. So I think that's served you well. Yeah, you come into environments and places with a kind of enough humility that you want to learn. You don't think you know it all. Yeah, but enough confidence that you're going after learning. I think sometimes insecurity keeps us from even asking questions.
Yeah, don't even try because I'm not.
Oh, I'm no good. Yeah. So I think you've balanced that well over the years and kept a hungry heart. And I think sometimes we think mentoring is, I wish somebody would mentor me. Yeah. But it's more you've just come under whoever you've been around and learned from. Yeah. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's fun to get to know our tech director, Dave, and it's been neat in the last couple years because a lot of what you do is so behind the scenes, right? Yeah. But with COVID having happened,
it's become more front scenes.
Yeah, exactly. You're in two ways. I mean, one is your role is all that much more critical, right? And then also you're on the screen a lot more. With Church Online and so on. Yeah. So if people want to see you, they can actually watch the online services, and you and Kelly are there most of the time doing
just kind of hosting the beginning and the end of the service.
Right. Yeah. We call it the pre-show. Right. Yeah. And before the service, and then after the service, you do. Yeah. The closing of the service online. Yeah. Most Sundays.
Yeah, I really enjoy doing that. And like I said, like we don't get to see the faces all the time, but there was this one time we saw someone in the mall when we're all wearing masks, and I didn't recognize the person at all. And they're like, "Hey, you guys are from Church Online at Victory, right?" And we're like, "Yeah." And they knew who we were. It was like crazy.
Yeah, so neat to know that
people are actually being reached for the gospel through our services online. Is crazy.
Super cool. Yeah. Which, having said that, it'd be great if other people want to join our tech team. Yep. They can run cameras, they can run lights and
all kinds of fun
video
stuff.
Switching and all that. We train them and we help them find the level that they're at. Yeah. And then they can continue on and at other things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we always have a training. Like, we usually have them come in, get to know who they are a little bit, what they've done, if they've done anything at all, show them what we do, and then give them a training night before they ever join, But
So if anybody wants to do that, and even if you don't live in Moose Jaw, you could be a Church Online host.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, that'd be really fun. Yeah, we have a few people like that. So
cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So any final words? You want to say anything else?
That's about it.
You got it?
Yeah.
We landed everything?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
Gotta stay connected to church. And
thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for how you serve around Victory and how you serve the kingdom of God. Lives are being changed because you do it, so appreciate it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. All right, thanks.